Imagine your business not just surviving, but thriving. Your wealth locked in, your opportunities exploding, and your family's future built on a legacy that never fades. I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional. I help entrepreneurs and high-growth enterprises protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth through my proven system, the Wall of Wealth. I unite your experts into one cohesive strategy because the most expensive line on your balance sheet isn't debt or taxes, it's conflicting advice. Ready to align every dollar with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
Happy Wealthy Wednesday, champions. Come on in. Today's going to be fire. You're going to love this. So come on in. You're going to want your notepad today. I promise you this will be notepad time taking. However, it's going to be interactive. Grab something nice to drink. I've been really loving my coconut water. Grab your fuzzy bunny slippers. Today's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. If you don't know, you don't know. The Comment Currency, oh my goodness, this book is incredible. You're going to love it. So today's guest speaker, I have to tell you, I have watched her from afar. It seems like now for many years. I'm not sure how long it's been, but it's been a little while. She is a powerhouse on LinkedIn. And back in the dinosaur days, we had something called the LinkedIn audio rooms. And I would listen to her talk about LinkedIn. She did these collaborations. And I was so just attracted to the way that she has such a generous spirit, but also put some fun and spice into it. You know, this could be a hard, serious topic for some of us. How do we grow our connections? How do we grow our authority on social media? And she always makes it fun and engaging. So I'm super excited to have her. Grab your questions. If you have questions about your LinkedIn, what do you do? Where do you start? Like, definitely, this is a time to be interactive. So let's talk about this woman here. Let's see. Her name is Wendy Shore. She is a LinkedIn and business growth strategist. She helps founders and executives, business owners become an authority that people and AI can't ignore. With 30 plus years of experience, including building 7 award-winning restaurants and a background as a CPA, Wendy blends strategy with real-world execution, a LinkedIn top voice, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author, Comment in Currency. She shows how to show up on LinkedIn. It's not just about posting more, it's engaging smarter, building influence, and turning conversations into revenue. So without further ado, please welcome my incredible guest speaker, Miss Wendy Shore. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, Miss Wendy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And I love that introduction. That was awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm thrilled to have this conversation with you. It's been a minute since we actually were able to converse, but now at least we're able to see each other, which you couldn't in the audio rooms.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a benefit, a plus and minus to anything, right? One thing that I saw is people who were not doing any kind of video before the audio rooms left really kind of, you know, toggled off of social media or at least off of LinkedIn. And that's unfortunate. But I really want to do a deep dive into your book. I mean, there's so many great golden nuggets in here. And what I love about it, one of the things that I love about this is it's really more of, it's very spacey. Okay, what I mean by that is I like to write comments and notes in my books so that I can reflect back. And you give that space to do that. I don't know if that was intentional, but I really do enjoy that because it's going to give me an opportunity to really earmark what I'm using, what I need to go back to. And so tell me, how did this book come up? Comment Currency. I mean, amazing title, so perfect for Wealthy Wednesday. How did this book come about?
It's something I've been thinking about for a while. It was just published about a month ago now. But it was a good year and a half ago that the title and everything sort of came into my head. And, you know, writing a good book does take time, even if you have all the knowledge in your head. And what happened was, you know, and I think this happens to a lot of people. When I first got on LinkedIn, even though I had all this experience in business, I didn't know what to write. I didn't know what to post. I was afraid I was going to be judged, right? All these things go through your head. And what I found was when I started commenting, and at first I was commenting, I don't know if you remember when LinkedIn had the collaborative articles, and that was my first foray into commenting. It was adding my own opinions and thoughts and experiences to this article that they generated with AI. And back then there was a lot missing. And people started responding to the comments I left. And then we had conversations. And there was this like light bulb moment of, wait a minute, right? The comments are really where the relationships start, right? And so that's how that all came about.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And so for me, I actually started on LinkedIn because I didn't know anybody on here. And it was a safe way for me to start to explore social media. All my friends were on Facebook. I don't want to do Facebook. I knew I'd get all the haters and stuff. So I thought, you know what? Nobody's going to see me that I know. So I can actually go ahead and do this. And so it's been a real evolution for me. But I just really think these days, anyone who's not on LinkedIn, in my humble opinion, is really losing an opportunity. It is a professional platform, but it's so much more. What would you say to somebody who maybe they're joining us from Facebook, maybe they're joining us from my YouTube channel? What would you say to somebody who is just not on LinkedIn? They think it's just about a job hunt.
Well, I think that's a common misconception, and it's starting to, people are starting to realize the importance of LinkedIn. But I'll speak with groups, and they still think that LinkedIn is a job searching platform. And it is, but like you just said, it's so much more than that. And showing up on LinkedIn, you're right, is a missed opportunity. First of all, if you're in business, and whether you're business to business or business to consumer, everybody's on LinkedIn searching for whatever it is you might be offering. So it's important to be on here for that. But here's where it became more important. Now, there's been a lot of research done recently about AI citation. People aren't searching for things the way they used to. They're now using AI. And even if you're in Google, they're using like Google AI because they want answers faster. And LinkedIn is now the #1 cited source. Just a month ago, it was the #2 cited source. Now it's the #1 cited source. So if you're not showing up on LinkedIn, you're missing the opportunity to start building your positioning and your authority before it's too late. If you're not here, AI is not searching Facebook and Instagram at this moment, searching LinkedIn.
And we're definitely going to get to that, but that's more towards the end of the chapter. So I want to start kind of at the beginning. I want to highlight this comment here in your foreword, because I thought it really spoke to me, because I really truly believe this is really what this is about. It's not about, well, this is what the comment is. Wendy's approach gives you a place to bring wonderful, weird version of yourself directly into the conversations that matter. You don't have to be loud, performative content machine. And why I love that is because I watch your social media, I watch your LinkedIn, and you make it fun. You kind of make it, it's like, do you, if this resonates, here you can go. And I think sometimes we get really thinking kind of boxed in to think, okay, it has to be picture perfect. We got to know all the right words. And you show up and sometimes you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try this out. What do you guys think? So what else would you share about that?
Well, I think especially when you're first starting out on any social media, that is the perfectionism, right? You want everything to be just right. But while you're waiting to get started, other people are making strides, being imperfect and just doing it, right? I made a joke a long time ago. I had bought all these books that I had intended to read, and I have been making my way through them. But I had an entire, area of shelf improvement instead of self-improvement. And so, but somebody once said this, and it stayed with me. You can't learn to swim by reading a book about how to swim.
That's right.
You have to get in the pool. So if you're not there and doing it, you're not building that muscle. You're never really going to learn. So I say show up as yourself. And the other thing is recently, Jason Pfeiffer, the editor for Entrepreneur Magazine, on his post said, there's three kinds of people in the world. Your people, people who don't know you yet, and not your people. Don't worry about not your people. Worry about your people and the people who you just haven't met yet.
I love that. I want to welcome the one and only Miss Margaret Martinez. She is our Go Brunch brilliance. If you want to know about Go Brunch, you're thinking about Go Brunch, you're not sure about that platform, hey, there's something for everyone here. I really believe that LinkedIn is the core, and then you find another platform that you enjoy. It's just kind of your people are there. And that's what's worked for me is LinkedIn is definitely my home base, but I also do play in other platforms, but I always put the majority of my content is here. So thank you so much, Margaret. It's so great to see you. Yeah, you say that your book is written for service-based founders, business owners, professionals in mind who want to turn LinkedIn into a source of credibility, clients, and community. I love that you said community because that's really what it is. It's just what you alluded to earlier. Show up as you, and that imperfect action is going to resonate with somebody because we can all show up all perfect and highlighted and clipped, but people generally can't relate to that when it's too perfect, in my humble opinion. Because when they see me in real life, they're going to see that I'm not perfect. And then they're going to say, oh, no, this is not congruent, right? So show up as who you are, building that community. What is one thing that people maybe have a misunderstanding about building a community?
Well, I just want to step back to what you just said, where you said LinkedIn is your home base, right? And then you do go to other platforms. But my question for you is this. You know, we met on LinkedIn, and yes, the audio rooms were definitely fun because we were able to connect with our voices, and there's something about voice. But if you think about the people you've connected with on LinkedIn and the relationships you've developed because of LinkedIn, can you say that happens on any other platform?
You know what? 1,000% I will say no. The only way those conversations or even the beginning of building that relationship is when I reach out multiple times. Hey, I'd like to talk to you. I'm a real person. Find me on LinkedIn. I send them my profile. But here it's very organic. It really is. I see somebody in the comments because I love your currency comment. Is you see somebody in the comments and you're like, oh, you know what? I look at their profile. Oh yeah, I definitely want to connect with that person. So you are 1,000% correct. Those organic conversations do not happen for me personally as readily.
And for me, you know, I found that LinkedIn, there's just relationships are there's real people. First of all, you have to use your real name, right? So there's real people having real conversations. And that's sort of how it happens, right? Especially when you are looking at the comments. And I think on LinkedIn, people really tend to read the comments as well, because there's a lot of insight and learning, you know, and a lot of like aha moments in the comments. And then you like what somebody said. And like you just said, you'll go over and you'll take a look at their profile. That's where creating content comes in as well, because now if I like your profile, I'm going to start to read your content. And I'll be like, oh, this person, like they know what they're talking about, right? And so whether you're connecting with them as an associate, whether you're connecting with them, you know, to do a collaboration, or even if they're a potential client, right? You get to know them as a real person. You get to see who they're about in their posts and find them through the comments. When you take the time to comment, just you're exposing yourself to all these people who may not have seen you just from your content alone.
Yeah, and I think that one thing people say to me often is, oh my gosh, you post so much content. I could never do that. And I don't feel like it's a lot, but I think it's because I'm showing up as me. Like if I was trying to be somebody else and trying to copy another influencer or try to duplicate something that was not me, that would feel very taxing and exhausting. I show up as me, good, bad, or indifferent. Here's where I am. Here's how I look. Here's a real thing, you know. And I think when people are trying to fit themselves into something else, that's where the exhaustion and overwhelm can come in.
I agree with that. But, here's the other thing. If you're not somebody who loves creating content, but you understand that it's important, you do not have to show up 5 days a week. You can create content 2 to 3 days a week, but it's the quality of the content. It's the depth and sharing your knowledge and not having AI write it for you. Use AI as a tool. I do. I use it to brainstorm. I like to talk to AI and be like, here's my ideas. And I'll just go on and I'll talk and I'll be like, okay, now organize that for me. Right. But it's me. It's my ideas. It's my thought. It's my lived experiences. And when you are writing content, you want to make sure that that is where you're coming from with your voice, your experience, and your depth of knowledge. Because if I can search it on AI and find the information, then you're not doing anything special, right? So the special is really you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way you explain it here, that it's not just about the comment that you make, but now you're in a community of, if you're attracted to that person, if you're connected with that person and you're reading the comments, you have something in common. And so those people that are reading your comments and that you're commenting on probably have something in common with you. That was a really light bulb moment for me. I hadn't really thought about it that way. I thought about it like just making a comment and people see, and then, also getting attention from that person and looking to see if there's somebody that I would like to have an engagement with. But I didn't really think about, and that's that whole community part of it, right? Is that person that we're commenting on probably has a community that is going to resonate. If I resonate with them, then they probably have a community that resonates with me.
Right. Well, because there's that whole relatability factor, right? There's a reason that you're both commenting on the same post or reading through the comments, right? So it's figuring out what is that relatability, what is that thing you have in common that connects you. And really, that's what community is about. It's about connection, right? So when you're building community, it's just connecting with people, and always from a point of being in service, never with a, what's in it for me. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at the other person going, what's in it for them? How can I help them? Never saying what's in it for me, right?
Yeah, and this stage 2, you talk about awareness. I really, really like this. Your comment catches someone's attention. They click on your profile, and that's the spark of awareness. That's why it matters. Every comment is a signal, a micro impression of your expertise, perspective, or insight. It either earns attention or gets scrolled past. And sometimes we're doing so many things. People are dancing and singing and doing all these things, but they're not realizing that's just, to me, that's very superficial. Your comments are really who you are.
And the thing is, your comment isn't supposed to be this perfectly crafted, like when you're doing a post. It's just supposed to be like, this is my thought on this. This is my experience with this. This is my take, whether it's agreement or contrarian. It's who I am. And it's supposed to be quicker. And that is why you can spend time and leave 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 comments in a day, every single day, without burning out from like content creation. And if you're going to just write like great post, I would say don't even bother. Just give it a like and move on, because nobody is going to read great post, right? Like they're just not going to read it. And so it's kind of almost a waste of time. The like on the like that you give somebody carries about the same weight as a comment of just great post. But I will tell you this. So you really want to start engaging with people who are either your peers, people who are your ideal client, right? Or people that are just like slightly ahead of you in your particular profession or career. But you have friends and people that you like just because, right? And so those are the people that you may take a moment and say, great post, just for the support because you want to support them and help their, post go, or just say you've done a great job. But it's the people who are in your arena, so to speak, that you want to take the time and leave a thoughtful, crafted, thought out, but not purposely polished, and don't spend 15 minutes writing it. It's like a few minutes and done. Move on to the next one and support other people.
That's a great way to think about it. So you're saying we should be able to do like 5 to 10 comments daily.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Not perfectly polished. So sometimes I see these really long story, it's almost like a novel. And then, yes, I've seen a lot of those great comment or brilliant. They're using AI. Great, to just kind of formulate it, and you hit the tap really quick like that. So where is that happy medium? We don't want to be writing a novel, but we want to go beyond great comment.
Well, I think you need to sort of think for a moment, like, am I adding value with this? First of all, right? What is your reason for leaving that comment? And it's really, again, to continue the conversation or to add insight. You never want to leave a full post. You could think of it as a mini post, but you don't want to hijack somebody else's post. If you like the content or the information that was there, you can go leave your own post on your profile and say, hey, I was reading, and always give credit, right? That's the best thing you can do. Give credit. Oh, I was reading Leah's post and she said this, and oh my God, I had this thought. And then I can write my own post, that's not stealing yours, but it's expanding upon it, right? Like, I love what she said here. And then I would link to your post. And, in this case, I wouldn't worry about whether links reduce whether or not your post is shown. Don't worry about the algorithm. Worry about the person, like write for the person, not as much the algorithm.
I love that. That's really a great idea, because I always kind of wonder, where is that line? I do have some other thoughts, or I have some other contribution, but I see people who write these really long posts, and I'm thinking, I don't really know that I want to do that. You say opportunities arise where visibility and authority meet. Yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about those opportunities.
I mean, look, here I am with you, right? We're having this conversation today. And that is because I found my way into your view, your vision, whether it was the audio room or a comment, however it is, I became visible to you. And then I'm sharing my real world experiences, the things I've learned along the way, my scars, my bruises, and also, my wins. And so then we have a connection, right? And from there, now I am here talking with you about LinkedIn, right? About my new book. That wouldn't have been possible if I was quiet or remained invisible. So this is just one example. I've been invited to speak on stages. Somebody either heard me speaking in a LinkedIn Live, or they saw me at another event, and then they went and they checked my LinkedIn profile, and then they saw everything that I was about. And so people are watching, right? So, but you just have to show up in front of them somehow, whether it's here on LinkedIn, in the comments, or in real life. You need to start showing up.
Absolutely. A couple of people have messaged me. They say they don't see us live on LinkedIn. So I'm sending a few more invitations, but you can also get us on our YouTube channel, Wendy's YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is the Dynasty Builder 93940. What is your handle on YouTube, Wendy?
That's a good question. I think it's Wendy Shore.
Okay.
But I'm going here to LinkedIn while we're speaking, just to see, because Margaret was messaging us from LinkedIn, and
yeah, I saw her. Here is Coach Carrie. Great finances. Great to see you, Coach Carrie. So I'm not sure. It looks like we're live on there, but I sent a few invitations. Listen, you can't keep us down.
And I just put the link.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah, this topic today is a great topic. It's about finding the currency in the comments. How many of you make comments on LinkedIn. I'm going to say specifically to LinkedIn because other platforms kind of have different things. But I know Coach Carrie, she's joining us from my YouTube channel, and she is also all over LinkedIn. She's all over everywhere, but for sure. So that's our conversation today. What questions do you guys have? Do you have any questions for Miss Wendy and how we bring that awareness? And what are these comments about? You say your comment catches someone's attention. They click on their profile and that sparks that awareness. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So once we have that awareness, we're making those comments. You talk about the compound effect. And this is what I love because I actually call it compound pounding. Those comments stay there, as far as I know, into perpetuity.
Right.
So as you start, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Keep going.
So as you start to comment, if you did, let's say you can't do 10, maybe you do one. If you did one comment, but one real good comment from your good market, from somebody you really admire, respect, that you believe that you have the same type of community, and you do that every day, that's 30 messages over a month, over a year. That's 365 comments intentional that you've made every day. If you did that over a year, over 2 or 3 years, I'm saying that's a compound pounding.
Well, yes, but I think one comment a day is like putting $1 a day into the bank, as opposed to maybe taking, $50 a week. I'm trying to think of it in a monetary term, but here's the thing. When I talk about the compound effect, I go and I comment on your post, right? And so I add value to your post and people could see it and they'll see my name. Then I go to Coach Carrie. I see what she's posting and, oh, this is a great post. And now I comment on that. Well, Lisa has now gone to see me on yours, and now she sees my name on Carrie's, and my name starts to become familiar, right?
Ooh.
And so now if I'm showing up on somebody else's, right, and you see the name again, that name starts to become familiar, and you feel like, oh, I know this person, I've seen this person, and that may spark more interest in going over to see. So the more you get out there and comment, the more likely somebody's going to see you, right? And then show that interest. So yes, one a day is better than none a day. But if you can do 5 a day, and 5 is very doable, because if it takes you, let's say 3 to 5 minutes to write a comment times 5 a day, that's somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes. And 15 and 25 minutes, you could do that like for your lunchtime, right? Like just take the time and support other people, and it comes back to you like tenfold.
Yeah. And if you're Coach Carrie, she's got those amazing keyboard skills. She probably can do it in 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 7 minutes. She is like a fabulous typer if you don't know. I want to welcome a few more people who've joined us. Great to see you, Miss Lisa Vivek. She's our menopause mentor. And I would say anything health, if you're looking to improve your health, you want to know about your diet, because it all comes down to our diet. You can work out as much as you want, but we have to look at how we're feeding and nourishing our body. Here is one of my favorite people, Coral, Miss Coral, from across the pond. She is a coach for Christian women entrepreneurs who are looking to up-level their game. Get a hold of her. And she says that we are live. She sees this obviously on LinkedIn, because that's where she's catching us from. Let's see. She says that we're live. Okay, we're live over here on LinkedIn. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit of a delay. We're good. We're okay. We're here. We love it. And by the way, if you don't know if this is your first time on Wealthy Wednesday, this is your opportunity for entrepreneurs, business owners. This is who you are. I would invite you to connect with the people, put comments in here. People will see you, and connect with those that are there. If there's somebody here that you don't know, have a coffee chat with them. Get to know somebody, because there's probably somebody here that would benefit that mutually beneficial relationship. And let's see what Coach Carrie says. She says, yes, she is always phenomenal. Absolutely. We're waking up in gratitude and we speak life over others. I love that, Coach Carrie. I love it. I appreciate that. One thing I want to talk about, and this is a chapter work before we get to the big chapter, is we talk about this pitch slapping. And I have to really admit, I've been on LinkedIn a long time. Yes, I have done the pitch slapping. With all humility, respectfully, some of you probably have a pitch slap from me. I humbly apologize. Listen, we all go through the learning curve. But, even to today, I receive so many pitch slaps. What would you say to those souls who are doing that? They're trying so hard to build what they're doing. You understand that they feel like, hey, just kind of throw it up there and see what sticks. What would you say about pitch slapping to a reforming pitch slapper herself?
Well, first, I want to know, there's somebody out there that's teaching people to do this. And, I think that's very bad. Shame, shame, shame. Listen, I would rather you have LinkedIn Premium, send me a message and tell me you are trying to sell me something right off the bat. I respect that more, right? Instead of, oh, I love what you said. This was great. And they sometimes they take the time to actually write something nice about what you just said. And then you say connect and you're like, and by the way, I have this service that would be great for you. Like, don't do that, right? Would you go on a date with somebody and ask them to marry you that night? No. You get to know them a little bit. Then there's the other camp that says, I don't have time to form these relationships. I'm here. I want to sell. Okay, then don't pretend that you're interested in what they have to say and connect. Just send them a message that says, hey, by the way, I have something I think would be great for you. Maybe you're interested, or whatever message you want to send. But at least you're coming from a place of, authentic and real, instead of, that, oh, would love to connect because I love your content. And then bam, right? Don't do that. Now, if you've done it in the past, but you realize yeah, this isn't really the way to do it. Okay, that's okay. We learn, we grow. But if you're listening now and it's you that's doing it, think about it, right? Don't start a relationship based on just, I'm going to pretend to comment, to give you a compliment, and then I'm going to smack you with my offer. Just don't do it.
Yeah, we've all experienced that in person. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but that person who pretends like they're giving you a compliment, but it's really not. Okay, we know what we're talking about. Okay, we've all had that experience. And yeah, I'm not sure who's teaching people to do that, but somehow that's still coming through. I haven't done that in a few years, but every once in a while I will connect with somebody and I see one of my old pitch slapping. I apologize. Okay. I didn't know. Okay. I was trying to get better. Let's talk about this reciprocity. I love the law of reciprocity. And I think sometimes people get that a little off. They think that if I give to you, then you're going to give to me. And you even make a comment about that. You're not doing this to get something, but when you give first publicly, generously, consistently, people notice and they want to reciprocate.
I'm going to go back to my Clubhouse days, right? And this is when I first really started sharing my information. When I first got on Clubhouse, I was very quiet, right? And then as I started hearing people give what I considered bad advice, I started speaking up. And in the very beginning, I supported other people in their rooms. If I would meet somebody similar, like there was relationships built on Clubhouse similar to here on LinkedIn. I don't think it's the same anymore, but back when it was in its heyday, 21 going into 22, there was a lot of friendships and relationships and people being built. So I would support other people. If you did a room and you told me, hey, I'm going to do a room every Tuesday at 4:00, I'd love for you to come support me. I did. I came, I showed up, I got up on stage, I helped share information, and I supported you. And I did that for a lot of people. I never expected anything in return. Then I decided I was going to run my own room. My heart was like pounding. I was like, I hope so. I hope people show up. I really hope people show up. And during the course of the room, at one point I had 200 people in the room, right? And then I started running this every week and people were showing up. The same people whose rooms I supported would go out of their way to come and support me. But when I opened the room, I didn't expect it. I was hoping people showed up. So You never give expecting, but people do want to support you in return for the most part, if you support them. But the thing I will say is expectation leads to disappointment. So don't do it
Ooh,
expecting anything in return. Do it because you want to.
that's a gold bar right there. Expectation leads to disappointment. If you're thinking that you're going to give somebody something and now suddenly they're going to be your raving fan, they're going to buy every product you have, they're going to tell everybody, that's really a setup for failure. It really is. That reciprocity in my mind comes over time. It may come directly from that person. It may come from through osmosis, from somebody that they saw, they heard. I know people send me referrals from people who've never done business with me. They're like, well, this is not really exactly for me, but you know what? And they'll send me, I actually just had one of those recently. So you don't know how it's going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you guaranteed. You just don't know. And when it comes back multiplied. This is from our Curl from across the pond. She said, great tips of what not to do. And absolutely. And this is probably why I'm an advocate, because I did so much pitch slapping in the beginning. Okay. That I love no pitch coffee chats.
Yes.
No pressure, no conversation, no expectation. I want to get to know who my people are, who I'm connected with. Sometimes I can refer them to somebody. Maybe I can share something with them that will be valuable. You don't never know. I never make that assumption. And every time I talk about no pitch coffee chats, I get a lot of pushback from it, Wendy. I really do. I had no idea that. I say a lot of controversial things. I did not think no pitch coffee chats was one of those controversial things, but it's really the one that I've gotten the most pushback from, that people say, well, you're not really doing no pitch coffee chats. Yes, I am. But anyway, and you're wasting your time. Why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Why would you, so what would you say about the no pitch coffee chat?
I've heard the same thing. When you were saying you were getting pushback, yeah, for the people who say it's a waste of time, I know people who feel it's a waste of time. But here's the thing. You may not be my ideal client, but you probably know people who are, right? So if we take time to get to know each other, then you become a referral partner as opposed to a client or customer, right? Or maybe not, but you don't know until you talk to people. And always go in with like the how can I help you as opposed to how can you help me? And you never know where it leads, right? You never know where it leads or where your name is being said in rooms because you showed up for that coffee chat, right? Sometimes you don't see it.
That is brilliant. That's definitely a gold bar. I want to also welcome a couple more people who have joined us. I want to welcome Chris Monastery. Where are you? Here he is. Chris. He is our Saving Teen Lives. He's an advocate about bringing awareness to distracted driving. I know he focuses on teens, but I'm going to say that I'm going to put my hand up first. We've all at some point been a victim of distracted driving. Thank you, Chris, for all that you do. And he showed up. He was really nervous. He wasn't sure how to start all this. And I watched him blossom and evolve into now he's got a website about saving teen lives. He does rooms about saving teen lives. I mean, and that's really that evolution, is having the courage to just show up. One of my favorite quotes by Terry, what is her name? Oh my goodness, Cassandra Terry. She says, show up scared, show up with shaky legs, show up even if your voice trembles. Show up, and over time, you're going to build that muscle. But until you show up and you're scared, you'll never go anywhere, right? You have to go through that. It's that process.
Love that.
Coach Carrie, yes, I agree with you. No pitch coffee chats are the best. That's how you could also find guest speakers. I found a lot of guest speakers in no pitch coffee chats. So you just never know where that gold is. Something I want you to touch on, because this is where in the book, I have to admit, I got a little lost here. All the other stuff, it made sense. That was good. But when we start talking about all of the analytics, okay, you go really, really deep in the analytics. And I don't want to steal your thunder. I want people to buy this book, okay, The Comet Currency. Get it. It is worth it. I recommend getting a hardcover because this is one you're going to want to earmark like this. You're going to want a dog tag. You're going to want to reference back. And it's just easier if you have the hardcover. So what can you help us for beginners? I don't know anything about analytics. That's where I'm just like, I don't even understand this. It feels like it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Break it down to us like we're 5 years old.
Well, here's the thing, data is king or queen. And so when you talk about analytics, first of all, the first thing I said is that LinkedIn started showing you analytics for comments, right? It's showing you how many people are seeing your comments. And also now if there are any profile views from comments. Now, I'm not sure if that's a premium feature or a regular feature, but they're putting a lot of stock into comments. And LinkedIn's editor-in-chief, Dan Roth, came out and he said that, what did he say? Comments are something about comments are the magic, right? Like LinkedIn is saying that comments are really, really important. I did quote him in the book, but right now it's not coming to me. It's not in my file cabinet. So analytics are very important because you want to see if things are working. So whether it's in your posts, right, or whether it's in your comments, you want to see, okay, I left a post about this and I got very few impressions. Views, impressions, you want to really look at your impressions too. So I got very few, but this post here, I got a lot more. So what is different about this post? What did I talk about? Was it the same subject? Was it a different subject? Okay, it's a different subject. What about this subject did people like? What were the comments that were being said so that I could get some feedback and you get some like what we call voice of customer, right? You see what people are saying about it. So you start to mine that for information. When you have a post that goes viral, and viral, by the way, is not the goal, but if you happen to have a post that takes off, you want to look at it and you want to say, okay, what was the information about? What was the format? Was it a carousel? Was it a video? Was it a post with picture, right? What about it? And then you take that information and you do the post in a different format. And you say, okay, am I still getting the same feedback? So is it the information that I'm sharing or was it the style post? Sometimes it's just timing. So, right. But when you have outliers, you really want to look at them and see what's going on, right? So that's the importance of the analytics. Do you have to spend hours a day or hours a week? Some people do, some people don't, but you should at least be aware of it, right? And not just post without strategy. You want to have a strategy for your posts and a strategy for your comments, right?
Yeah, that's really, really good. So that really helps me a little bit. But what is the difference? Okay, I'm asking for me. I'm going to be the guinea pig here. If you have your questions, put it in the chat. This is my question. I don't understand this. What is the difference between an impression and what did you say, impression or a view? What's the difference between that?
So when it comes to impressions, it shows up on somebody's screen, but it doesn't really necessarily, it could be for a second when you were scrolling by. That counts as an impression. So if I saw your post, but I didn't stop, but it showed up on my screen, that's an impression. A view is when somebody stops and actually looks at the post. So if they click on it, if they're spending time looking at it, that's a view. The other thing that LinkedIn reads with the new Brew 360 is they used to have dwell time, but now it's dwell time related to the length of the post. So if you have a carousel that let's say is 12 pages long and people got through page 6, that used to be a longer dwell time, right? Because I'm going through, I'm reading. Now LinkedIn looks and says, okay, they only got through half of it. So it's not given as much, importance as somebody who has 6 pages and somebody got through 5, right? So it looks at dwell time and dwell time in relation to the length of the post as well.
Wow. Okay. Some of this is a foreign language to me. Okay. I am on LinkedIn a lot, but I'm telling you I know there's a lot of things I'm not doing. What is a carousel? Like help us with that. I don't know what that is.
So a carousel, which actually started on Instagram, is when you have like a picture and you swipe, and then there's another picture with some more information and another picture with some more information. So that's a carousel, or a carousel type post.
Does it go from left to right
Yep, you swipe, and
as opposed to going up and down? So you're taking them this way.
so what happens is you land on somebody's page, and then there's an image, right? And usually they have an arrow in the image, so you know it's a carousel. And so, for example, if I was talking about the ACE framework when it comes to like commenting, right? I could have 5 pages or possibly 6. So the first one, I say that I'm going to talk about it, right? And then I go to A and I talk about it. And then I go to I and I talk about it. And then I go to C and I talk about it. Then I go to E and I talk about it. So you're swiping to the left. It's not Tinder. I don't even know. Do you swipe to the left if you like it on Tinder, or the right? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't even know what Tinder is.
Okay. It's like whatever. Let's move on.
Okay.
Well, the dating apps, you swipe to the left or you swipe to the
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I'm not on that stuff.
Me neither. But anyway, but a carousel, you swipe and you see to the left and you see the next one, and then you swipe and you see the next one. So should your post be short? I think you can do a combination of short and long, but here's the thing now. Because things are changing, and because AI is now surfacing all of this information out there, the deeper you can go on a subject and the more you can give information on a post, the better it is, right? And so then you talk about people versus AI. People will read a shorter post. AI will read a longer post. So I would kind of mix it up a little bit and have a combination. And because you're talking about the same information over and over, you're seen as the authority on it, but you really want to start doing listicles. You want to start doing, deeper information on the subject, and talking about it from your own experiences. And that is what AI is going to be looking for. So the answer is a combination, long and short.
Okay, this is great. And put your questions in the comment if you have a question. I'm going to ask a personal question, a shameless plug and a personal question, okay? I've been doing a LinkedIn newsletter. I have had so many people tell me to do it. I recently did it. I think I'm on issue maybe 20 or so. And I get like about 25%. I don't know, viewing on that. I'm gonna have to go back and look now. Is it a view? Is it an impression? I'm not sure. So on that, I'm not really sure, like, how long can that be? Because somebody told me, well, don't make it too long because people won't read it. But now I'm hearing from you, I want to go deep into that topic and really showcase. So what would you say about that?
Well, first of all, let me just say, I'm glad you did a newsletter. And for anybody who's listening who doesn't know the benefit of a LinkedIn newsletter, when you do a post, it shows up on the LinkedIn feed. When you have a newsletter, anyone who's subscribed to your newsletter actually gets a notification in their email that you've just released an issue of your newsletter. So LinkedIn is sending them a notice in their email that says, Leah just released, released a new newsletter, right? And so they can click over right from their email. So that's one of the benefits of having a newsletter. And then also, let's talk about the information. You want to be long enough that the AI is surfacing it. But here's the thing, and I do a content circle with Stacy Alexco, and we talk about this often. If the information is important and presented in a way that's interesting, people will read a longer post. People will read a longer newsletter. You don't want to fill it with fluff just to make it longer. You want to have real information, actionable takeaways, and stuff that people can't necessarily search and get elsewhere, right? So you want to have information and then your take on the information, your take on the information, right? And that's going to, one, set you apart, but two, it's in those personal insights that people are interested and will read further.
Okay, so read time, because it always gives me that read time. 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes. Sometimes mine are like 9, 10. I'm like, oh gosh, that's probably too long. Is there kind of a happy medium? Would you say a number to a number when it comes to read time?
That's a good question. And that is not something that I have looked into, but now that's going to be something I look into. Um, it's a very good question. And I would say, I don't think that there are analytics on whether or not people are spending that much time on the article. But
Okay.
I think from some of the comments, you'll know whether people read the whole thing, if they, found the information useful. And that's, it's interesting because you used to just write for people and now,
Right.
or SEO. So you just made sure there were keywords in there. But now this is where authority and experience really shines through, because if you're having AI generate the content for you, AI is not even reading it, right? Like they generated it for you, great. Maybe people are reading it, but they're not reading it. And so if I'm looking for a financial advisor and I want information on a particular thing, when you're writing your own unique information and your perspective, your name has a much higher chance of showing up in search. And people are not using Google anymore. And if they are, we talked about this a little bit earlier, it's Google AI more so than just Google search, right?
Yeah. That was for me a golden nugget for sure. I appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. And what it also says to me is that, listen, because sometimes I can get very wordy. Listen, you're talking about my jam, right? This is my newsletter. These are the things I love to talk about. Is that the people who it's really resonating with will take that longer approach and they will go ahead and sort through that, looking for what they're trying to grasp from that content. So I'm taking this as permission to be long-winded is what I'm taking from you, Miss Wendy, that I can go ahead and do that. I appreciate that. I don't know where this hour has gone. I wanted to make sure that I highlight some of the great things that you have, but if there's something I missed, is there something that people need to know? Let's say they are on LinkedIn, they're showing up, they're doing things, but they're not making any conversions, right? They're having lots of conversations, they're doing the coffee chat, they're doing all the things that they know how. What do you think of that blind spot they could be missing?
I think it's probably, let's call it case specific, but a lot of times it's just that their messaging isn't as clear as they think it is. I'm going to go back to Clubhouse and when I started sharing on Clubhouse, and I was in these rooms and I was sharing all this information. And when I say I spent a lot of time, I mean, I'm talking 10 hours a day on the platform.
Right.
I would even fall asleep like listening. And so I met this group, right? And it was the Mom Link. And we were all like entrepreneurs and moms and supporters of mompreneurs. And they put together this group and they were doing an event here in Delray Beach. And so all of these women that I met, these lovely women, were coming into town, and I did a pre-party beforehand and I had some people staying at my house. One of the women who I probably spent at least 6 hours a day, 7 days a week in various rooms with and sharing information was staying at my house. And she's looking at like some of these words I have on the wall and whatnot. And she said, "Oh my God, Wendy, I love the information you share. You're so knowledgeable." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." She goes, "Do you mind if I ask you a question?" Oh, sure. Go ahead. What do you do? What do you mean? What do I do? Right? Like I'm sharing stages with you. We're spending hours a day. You don't know what I do. And that's when I realized, right? Like, first of all, when people say niche down, it's about being able to talk to somebody so they understand what you do. It's a marketing term. It's not a life sentence. You just need to get clearer in your message. You need to not have 25 offers out there. You need to be clearer in your offers, who you are, what you do, and why you are the person. And then I will say one more thing. There's a lot of people out there who are giving away great information, who people look to and they read all their posts, but they haven't quite built the authority of I'm the person that solves that pain that you have right now. And so they're going to follow you. They're going to look at your content, but they may not hire you. They're going to hire the person they think can solve the big problem for them. So keep that in mind.
So they may be bringing currency to someone else's doorstep without knowing it. That's really, really great. That is so great. Oh my gosh, Wendy, you are so valuable. What I love about you is I can tell that you really have fun with what you're doing. This isn't some kind of rote routine, really kind of something kind of static. You show us how to have fun with this, how to show up as who we are. And I love that the way that you will give away little prompts like, okay, give this to chat, see how yours comes out. I mean, you're just so brilliant with this.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy it. And you know what? You should. And it was a journey for me to get here. For those of you who are watching who don't know, I spent, 25 years in the restaurant business. And before that, I was a CPA. And if you listen to my TEDx, and I would love if you did, I talk about how the reason I wound up in the restaurant business was working my way through college in restaurants. I discovered this passion for the restaurant business. And I really thought I would be there forever. But things happen, circumstances change. And I found myself at this place where I lost my identity, right? And so to get here was a journey. I went back to my roots in accounting because I had kids in college and I was, a sole parent supporting them. And it just sort of led to this and led to Clubhouse and led to LinkedIn. And, I love what I do, but it's finding your passion and it's just really working towards that goal of loving what you do. And understanding that sometimes, yes, you have bills to pay and you can't just like throw everything into the wind and quit, but keep working towards what you love and do what you love and let that shine through, even if it's a hobby to start and becomes a full-time job and passion later.
That is great words to end right there. I love it. Thank you so much. You've got some new fans and friends, Miss Wendy. How do people find you? How do they order this incredible book, Comment Currency? Like, where do they get in touch with you?
So they could go to Amazon, right? It's on Amazon. Or if they go to my website, wendyshore.co/book, the link to get the book is on there. It's still on Amazon, but they can visit my website, sign up for, I'm going to be doing a Comment Currency Masterclass. So if they go to my website, they can sign up for the Comment Currency Masterclass. And of course, connect with me here on LinkedIn. That's what it's about. It's about connections, community, and really helping each other to shine.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please show some love to Miss Wendy as we go ahead and put her back in the mimosa room. I'm not sure what they've got down there in the snacks for you. Listen, this is your opportunity. I say it's 2026. It's your year to get in the mix. And what do I mean by that? It means to come out of the shadows. It means to put yourself in the comments. Yes, it's uncomfortable. I understand that it takes some time. In the beginning, it may take you a lot of time, but start with one. Start with one comment, genuine comment about somebody that you admire, somebody who said something that really resonated with you. And then over time, you're going to build up that muscle, right? It's an atrophy muscle in you right now, but you can absolutely build it up. And here's the thing is that we're all talking about social media. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, you have to be on social media. But what does that look like? What that looks like, in my humble opinion, is starting here on LinkedIn. Get your LinkedIn optimized. Have somebody help you to really populate your LinkedIn. Have more than just the generic photo. Have a little bit more than the background that comes with LinkedIn. Populate it with something, start to put some things in there, and then start to show up as who you are. You're going to evolve through this process. I promise you. It'll be like that butterfly breaking out of that chrysalis, right? You will actually start to evolve and you're going to find your voice, because I say the more you speak your mind, the more you grow your mind. Unless you speak your mind, you never know. It's not battle tested. You might think you believe something until it's actually battle tested, until you put it in the comments. Somebody responds and they ask you something more about it. And then you really decide, wow, maybe you rethink it. That's not really exactly what I meant. Or maybe you find out that's exactly what you meant. And then you can expand on that and become the expert. You want to be the expert in your field. You want to be the voice that people look to for the problems that you can solve. And if you're here, I appreciate you. I love you so much, Team Live. I adore you, Team Replay. Share this with somebody who's an entrepreneur, business owner who needs to hear this. And you know what? Join us here every Wednesday. I'm here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you'd like to be a guest, I'd love to talk to you. Let's enjoy a no pitch coffee chat. And if you would just like to have a conversation, hey, I'm always looking to expand my network. That's what this is all about, learning from one another, learning to appreciate each other. And I'd love to see you in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wealthy Wednesday. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember, your wealth today should be your dynasty tomorrow.
High-achieving entrepreneurs and business owners, this is for you. There's a powerful wealth strategy most business owners were never told about. Because traditional retirement plans were designed for entrepreneurs, that's where the Solo 401k comes in. The Solo 401k was built specifically for self-employed business owners, and here's why it matters. As both the employee and the employer, you can often contribute significantly more than a traditional IRA. That means accelerating your wealth, not waiting decades to access it. You may also have the ability to borrow from your Solo 401k, accessing your own capital without banks, without begging, without delays. And unlike most retirement accounts, you're not limited to Wall Street. A Solo 401k can allow investments in real estate, precious metals, and even Bitcoin. This isn't about chasing a rate of return. It's about control, flexibility, and intentional strategy. If you're an entrepreneur who wants their money working as hard as they do, download my free Solo 401k guide and subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. Learn more by visiting leahgarcia.io, because this is how you build wealth on purpose. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.